Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Rabbi Isai, we're holding on the bottom, or actually, we might even be on the top of Pehei Omid Aleph. It doesn't matter. One of the shurim, I don't remember which one. It was the Hebrew, the English. So smack in the middle of Pei Daled Amud Beis, we're just going to go back a little bit of Chazarah Bal Peh. Ravena almost lost his tongue, physically, metaphorically. It's not. Basically, what he said is that if you have the right to shecht a koi, a kvi, which is half chaya, half behema, and we know that a chaya, you have to cover its blood, a behema not. So now you have an animal that's 50-50, or it might be a min b'fnei atzmai, whatever, but let's call it a half deer, half goat. If you're chayiv, let's say the shechted on Shabbos, you have a sick person in the house, you have to shecht it. Comes Ravena and says you have to cover its blood. Gemara says, "Ooh, I should take his tongue out, or I should get rid of his meturgamon." And the Gemara brings Rav Yosi. Rav Yosi says the exact opposite, and that's why he doesn't deserve to have a tongue. He says that there's a kavach chaimer that if a person performs a bris milah on Shabbos, he has to perform a bris milah on Shabbos. That pushes off Shabbos, obviously. But if you have a suffix on a bris milah, you don't know exactly when the baby was born, and it's right before Yom Tov, the baby was born a week before Yom Tov, you're not sure if it was born 8 days or 7 days before Yom Tov, you don't push off Yom Tov for that bris milah. So certainly when it comes to Kisei Adam, that when you have a certain case of shchita on Shabbos, you don't do Kisei Adam. So certainly you shouldn't do Kisei Adam when you have a suffix on Yom Tov. Agoparim, you see from Rabbi Yossi straight out that a vadai, if you have to shech this koi on Shabbos, you don't cover the blood. And then the Gemara brings a raya from shofar. So we can go back like 5 lines from the bottom. When you blow the shofar outside the Beis Hamikdash, I'll prove it to you. You don't blow shofar on Shabbos. So he says, when you do shofar, and you have to blow shofar, you don't blow it on Shabbos. But if you have a suffix, you do it on Yom Tov. What in the world is a suffix when it comes to shofar on Yom Tov? So the Gemara says, "My sveika, what are you talking about? Ilaim is suffix chal, suffix Yom Tov. If you're not sure if it's a weekday or Yom Tov, that makes no sense. Because if you know for sure that it's Yom Tov today, you blow the shofar. So if you think that maybe it's a regular Sunday, you shouldn't blow the shofar. I mean, if it's Yom Tov, you're allowed to blow it. And if it's not Yom Tov, then you could also blow. What's the problem? Okay, so now we're on Daf Pei Yom Aleph. Ella, suffix ish, suffix isha. We're talking about a situation where it's a suffix if this person is a man or a woman, like a tumtum. So what do? On Rosh Hashanah, if you don't know if the person is a woman or a man, it's a tumtum, androgynous, you're permitted to blow the shofar for them. Why? It's very obvious. Rabbi Yossi the Tamei, because there's a machlokes. Rabbi Yossi holds isha v'adais nami taka. If you know for certain that this is a woman, you're allowed to blow a shofar for her. We take it for granted. People blow shofar for women all the time. You take your shofar, blow. But it's a machlokes if you're allowed to do that. Rabbi Yossi holds you're allowed to. The sign of Bnei Yisrael soimchim v'lo Bnei Yisrael soimchos. And memelo what? Before we go into smicha for a second, but because you're supposed to blow a shofar for a woman and you're supposed to blow a shofar for a man, so now if you have a person that's in between, you don't know what they are. So regardless, you blow the shofar for them. Mimanav shach. If it's a man, you're supposed to blow, and if it's a woman, you're supposed to blow. What's smicha? Here, this is smicha. Smicha means that every time you bring a carbon, you lean with all your body weight on the carbon's head. But a woman doesn't do so. We even have a woman, I think. Here we go. That's a man doing it. So now here, the Gemara is going to address the other side. But anyways, it says like this. The sign, Bnei Yisrael soimchim, 3 lines from the top. Bnei Yisrael soimchim v'lo Bnei Yisrael soimchos. It's only men that do smicha. Rabbi Yossi v'Reb Shimon oimrim nashim soimchos. Rishus. If a woman feels like she wants to do it, she could do it. Omer Avina. Well, the Ma'id Kamra Bonon Nami. And according to Rabbanan, they say that women should not blow a shofar, but a tumtum, a suffix should. Islay pircha. There's also a good argument here. Malat ki shofar shekem v'ada doicha Shabbos b'migdash. You know what? When it comes to shofar, you push off shofar, you do it in the Beis HaMikdash on Shabbos. Malat ki shofar shekem v'ada doicha Shabbos b'migdash. Toimer bekisui de lesiklau. I can make an argument that when it comes to shofar in the Beis HaMikdash, we blow also on Shabbos, whereas in Kisei Adam you never do it on Shabbos. And then when the Gemara brought it yesterday, we're just repeating. Hesher v'lozu hakaper beribi on the Kavachomer of Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yossi made a whole Kavachomer about bris milah. Bris milah that if it's a certain bris milah, it pushes off Shabbos, but a suffix bris milah doesn't push off Yontif. So too, when it comes to Kisei Adam, since the certain shchita on Shabbos, you don't do Kisei Adam. So too, when you have a suffix, certainly you shouldn't do Kisei Adam. So the Gemara says, and Lozar Kaper had a great answer. You don't have Mila on the Yontif night. So the Gemara asks, wait a minute. It seems like every night of the year you could do a bris milah. It says Meforsh in the pasuk here. You only do a bris milah during the day, not at night. So you're right. Milah does not happen during the night at all. That's Rav Elazar Akapar's argument, that in a way, Milah is weaker than Kisui Adam. You had a Kavachomer from Milah to Kisui Adam? No. Kisui Adam is stronger. Why? Because you do Kisui, you cover the blood even at night. Whereas Milah, you never do it at night. And the Gemara says, these are one of the things that Reb Chia said, I don't have a good answer. Elazar Kaber did have a good answer, although Reb Chia doesn't really agree to that answer. We're talking about Kisui Adam. See, top of the page. What's the name of the parak? Kisui Adam. That is, we have a chiyuv to cover blood after shchita of a chaya and of a bird and not of a behema. So what happens? You shechta an animal and you find out that it's a treifa. So it's a great question, right? It's a treifa. Does it require Kisui Adam? You can't eat it. So why do you have to cover its blood? Or another case where you can't eat it because you shechted it for avodah zarah. If you take a regular mundane animal and you bring it inside the Beis HaMikdash, it's a big isser. If you bring it inside, you shecht, you get a yover and a say. If you bring a carbon and you shecht it outside in Chicago, you are chayev kares. Chayev va'oif haneskalim. Let's say a bird or a chaya that killed a human being, and you have to becycle them. Remeir mechayev. Remeir says yechayev on Kisei Adam. Why? Because Remeir is going to hold that shchita she'eina ru'uya shma shchita. That's a machlokes that we already discussed a number of times, and that was in the last Mishnah of Oises Benoi, which the Gemara is going to bring down now. Whether a shchita that doesn't allow you to eat is considered a shchita. Let's say you shecht an animal for avodah zarah, you can't eat the meat. Is that considered a shchita? If it is considered a shchita, then the blood requires kisui. You have to cover it. If it's not considered a shchita, then it's garbage. So you don't have to do kisui. V'chachamim poitrim. Rabbi said, if anybody paid attention to the other sugya, who's chachamim? Who says that shchita she'eina ruya lo yishma shchita? He says it's Reb Shimon. So why is his name chachamim here? Reb Shimon bar Yochai. Why all of a sudden is it chachamim? Because that's how Rebbe, the author of the Mishnah, paskins. Instead of saying Rashbi, which you'll say, okay, so it's a nice machlek between Reb Meir and Reb Shimon bar Yochai. No. The chachamim paitrim. Reb Shimon bar Yochai holds that if the shchita is not a good shchita, you cannot eat, then you don't have to do Kisei Adam. If you did a shchita and it was a bad shchita, whatever you did wrong. You did a terrible job in the shchita. One of the issues that causes a shchita not to be good. Let's say you did shihiyah, you paused in between the two simanim, and here the Mishnah gives us hanoicher. Here, this is nechira. Right over here. it's shechting it the wrong way. It's not called shechita, it's called nechira. So, if you pull the simanim out, it's not a good shechita. So then if it's not a good shechita, you don't have to cover the blood. Says the Gemara, says Rabbi Yochanan, Ra Rebbe Dvarav Sheremeir Ba'isiv es Benoi. So we have a machlokes here. Let me just show you. All this I had to do myself. Matzei Tisha B'Av. Remeir Reb Shimon. Remeir holds shchita she'eina ru'ya, a shchita that doesn't accomplish anything, is green. It's a good shchita. Reb Shimon holds shchita she'eina ru'ya, the same thing. It's red, no good. So Rebbe, when it comes to Kisei Adam, that's our sugya, he holds like Reb Shimon. The shchita she'eina ru'ya, lo yishma shchita, not a good shchita, therefore, no Kisei Adam. You don't need Kisei Adam. How do I know that he holds like Reb Shimon? Because he calls him Chachamim. He paskins like him. He says Chachamim Maimrim. Chacham Paitrim. Yet in the Mishnah beforehand, the Mishnah that we were discussing the last few days, the Mishnah of Oisev es Benoi, there's an Isser. You hear? Another Yisoid in one day. You're not allowed, tell me if you knew this before, you're not allowed to shecht a mother cow, a mother sheep, and its offspring on the same day. You knew about this halacha? It's a pasuk, but it's okay. Yeah, not a lot of people know. I'm serious. It's not a big deal. There's a lot of psukim that people don't know. Tmura, nobody knows. Okay, so Oisev es Benoi. That's another mission that we learned. You're not allowed to shecht the mother and its calf in the same day. And over there, what if you find out that one of them is a treifa? The only isser is to shecht two of them. But if you shoot one of them and shecht the second one, that's not asr. If one of them is treif and the other one is not, so over there, we don't pass. We passing like Reb Meir, that shchita she'eina ruya, shma shchita. It's considered a shchita even though it's treif. So Rebbe, look at this. Rebbe, you see this on the screen over here? Rebbe passings by Oisev es Benoi, he passings like Reb Meir on top right. And by Kisei Adam, in our Mishnah, he passings like Reb Shimon. Okay? The Gemara goes on to explain why. Why is he passing over here like this and over there like that? We can keep this on the screen for another minute or two. Omar Rebbe Dvar Meir Ba'Oisev es Benoi Ushnai B'Loshen Chachamim. He said it in the name of Chachamim, Remeir Shita, or the Reb Shimon V'Kisei Adam. In our Mishnah, he holds like Reb Shimon Ushnai B'Loshen Chachamim, and he says Chachamim. He doesn't mention Reb Shimon by name. He calls him Chachamim. My time at the Remeir Ba'Oisev es Benoi. Why does he pass like Remeir by Oisev es Benoi? They now shech the mother and her son in the same day. It's considered a shchita, even though it's not available to eat. Here's the two psukim. This is called Gzer Shava. We have two psukim that say the same exact word, Yishchat, the same lashon. So by Oisev es Benoi, the top pasuk of Shar says Oisev es Benoi Sishchatu b'Yimechad, and also it says Ish Yishchat Oish Yisham Michutz LaMachne. That's talking about shchita. Shchutei chutz, that's taking a carbon and shechting it outside of the Beis Hamikdash. It says the word shchita. Ma hasa shchita she'eina ruya shma shchita. By shchita schutz, by you shechting it outside of the Beis Hamikdash, what happens? You're not allowed to eat the meat. It becomes asur b'hana. But even though it's asur b'hana, it's called a shchita. You shechted it. That's why you get kares. If it wasn't a shchita, if you killed it outside of the Beis Hamikdash, you wouldn't get kares. It's because you shechted it outside of the Beis Hamikdash. That means it's a good shchita, even though it's not edible. It's a good raya like Reb Meir that doesn't have to be edible. Reb Shimon my timer. So what does Reb Shimon do? How come he holds that by Oisev es Benoi it's not considered a good shchita? He has a completely different limud. He learns from Yosef Atzadik. Yosef Atzadik says he tells prepare a meal. Prepare a meal for my brothers. Obviously, Yosef Tzaddik shechted the animals, and it was a good shechita for his brothers. Afkan shechita ruya, so too by Yosef Benoi, it's a good shechita. Zog the Gemara. Now we just need to understand how come Remeir doesn't hold like Reb Shimon, Reb Shimon doesn't hold like Remeir. Classic Gemara. Remeir nami ligmar mit tavayach. I don't understand how come Remeir doesn't learn from Yosef Tzaddik tavayach that over there it was a good shechita. It makes a lot more sense. Look at this pasuk right over here. The two words are identical, or at least the same shirish. Tishchatu, yishchat. It's about shchita. Rameir is learning from. Reb Shimon is learning from the word tavayach, which also means shchita, but it's a different way of writing it. Tavayach, shchita, two different words. So then, what's the Gemara going to ask? The classic of all Shas. This sugi is brought down, I don't know how many times. At least 10 times. I've seen the side here, he brings 10 times. But I think it's even more. Because this half of the sugi is not the whole sugya. This is one of the most popular sugis in Shas, I want to say. That what? The Gemara always asks, and it's almost always the same answer. Once in a while, the answer is not, it doesn't give the full thing. The Gemara says, wait a minute, even when you have two different words, but they mean the same thing, you could still learn Gzer Shava. How do I know this? My nafkamina, what's the difference? Hatar the Rishmal says, V'shava koin, uba koin, zu yeshiva, zu yibia. So over here also, the word tvicha, the word shchita mean the same thing, so learn Gzer Shava. What's the answer that the Gemara always gives? It's an obvious answer. You're right, tvicha and shchita mean the same thing, and you can learn one from the other. But that's if you have no better choice. If the only two words are tvicha and shchita, but by us we have a better choice. We have shchita and shchita, which will teach us the opposite result, which will teach us that it's not a good shchita. If you learn it from tvicha, by Yosef, it was a good shchita. But by shchut chutz, it's not. Akopanim, fine. So let's do the classic over here. V'shava kain u'ba kain. Zu yeshiva, like 3 lines from where we came wide. Zu yeshiva, zu yibia. So the Gemara hanimi like the dami like. That's great. 2 words that mean the same thing. You can learn one from the other if you have nothing better. But over here, since we have this pasuk, this loisishchatu, the gzer shav of shchita shchita, is much better for us because it's identical words. Over there also, if there was 2 psukim that said the word uba, you're going to learn uba from uba. But because I don't have 2 ubas, I have ushav, uba, so then you put them together. Great. Now we do Reb Shimon. How come he doesn't learn from shchut chutz, shchita? That what? They see shma shchita. Just like by shchut chutz, it's considered shchita, so too by kisui. You want to learn Oisez Benai from Yosef at Tzadik, Chullin from Chullin, Ve'indanum Chullin Mikachim. You don't want to learn Chullin from Karbanas. Meir, Oto Oisez Benai Mikachim Milayinahai. What do you mean? Oisez Benai is also by Karbanas, we said. So that's what the Gemara says. It's a good kasha. Hanu the Kamer Reb Chia. That's why Reb Chia said, Rabbi Dvar Shor Meir, Oisez Benai, Ushnai B'Lashon Chacham. And now we're going back to this chart. That's why Rebbe chose Reb Meir when it comes to Oisez Benai because of this question. It was a great question. Now, my time of the Reb Meir B'Kisei Adam. How come he says by Kisei Adam that it's considered a shchita, and if it's considered a shchita, you have to do Kisei Adam when you have a treifa, or when you have a Avodah Zarah. He has another Gzer Shava called Shvicha. Let's see, here we go. The first pasuk it says, by Kisei Adam, it says v'shafach es damai in red. V'shafach es damai. Then it says by shchutei chutz dam shafach. So in both of them it says shafach. Shvicha. Ben Lakish gomer shvicha shchutei chutz. Malalon shchita she'ena ruya shma shchita. By shchutei chutz is considered a shchita. Avkan by Kisei Adam shchita she'ena ruya shma shchita. Reb Shimon doesn't learn this. If you look in the pasuk, I put it in purple because I couldn't put it in red because the shafach was already in red. It says Asher Ya'achal. What does Asher Ya'achal mean? The shchita has to be such a shchita that enables you to eat it right away. Reb Shimon, Asher Ya'achal ksiv. Reb Meir, 4 lines from the bottom. Ahu, why does it say Asher Ya'achal? L'ma'utei oiv tamei udasa. That if you shecht an eagle or a pelican, one of those birds, a chasida, what is it? How do you say chasida in English? A what? Stork, which is a treif bird, then you do not have to cover its blood. Reb Shimon, if tamei my taima, the la bar chilo, you can't eat it, so therefore you don't have to cover it. Treifenami la bar chilo. So in Mela, it's a good kasha. Ask the Gemara, I don't understand. What's the point? The point is that a non-kosher bird, you can't eat it. And the treifa, you also can't eat it. So therefore it should be parted from Kisei Adam. So the Gemara, that's exactly the reason why Reb Chia liked Reb Shimon when it comes to Kisei Adam. Omer Ababa. Daf Pehei Omid Beis. Loila Kol Omer Reb Meir Shchita Sheina Ruya Shmo Shchita. You should know that Reb Meir didn't just say a general rule that shchita that's not available to eat is considered a shchita. No, you should know there's a yotzim in a klal. Moider Reb Meir she'ei matirasa ba'achila. You should know that the shchita that's not a good shchita. It is considered a good shchita, but you can't eat it. Which the Gemara is going to say, of course you can't eat it. Why would I think you could eat it? And on the flip side, Reb Shimon who says that shchita sheina ruya leishma shchita, that a shchita that's not a good shchita is not considered shchita at all. It is a good shchita. Rabbi said, remember, what are the two things that a shchita accomplishes? Here's another you said. One day, I'm telling you 25 new says. What does shchita accomplish? Oh, the first thing that everybody knows is that it allows you to eat the animal, but also it accomplishes something very important. The animal that you shecht is not tummy. Every animal that drops dead has tumah, even cows and goats. But if you shecht them, no. So Mela, this Reb Shimon who says that it's not considered a good shchita, but accomplishes one thing. It accomplishes that the animal is not tummy. And now we're going to go slightly deeper into what we just said. Omar, we just learned, Remeir didn't just make a blanket statement and said that if it's not a good shchita, it is considered good. Even though it's not edible, it's considered good shchita. But you can't eat it. Pshita, treifa b'shchita mishtari. What if you have a treifa? You have a havamina that the shchita is going to allow you to eat a treifa. What's a treifa? It has a sircha in its lung. It has a hole in its heart. So you have a havamina that if you shecht it, you're allowed to eat it. Thank you. So we're going back to the sugya ben pekua. Ma'amish, what was it, a week ago? Not even. Ben pekua is when you shecht an animal and you find a baby inside, a fetus. So you don't have to shecht the baby. You could eat the baby as is without shchita. And we even paskin minat Torah, even if the baby walks around and lives for another 5 years, you're allowed to eat it without a shchita. You take a baseball bat, kill it, and eat it. So this is on the ninth month. You found a full-term baby. Now what's the difference, full-term or not? Because in a full term, we had a machlokes in the Mishnah where Remeir says full term, no ben pekua. Doesn't apply this halacha. It's full term. It's not part of the mother. So I would think that when it's a full-term baby, but the mother is a treifa, then the shchita shall work for the baby. But what's the question? Remeir doesn't hold that. Remeir holds that in the 9th month. It never works anyway. Ask the Gemara, Tizbra, what havamina do you have? Remeir holds that a full-term baby needs a shchita. Why would you think that if the mother is a treifa, you wouldn't need a shchita for the baby? It makes no sense. The Rebbe Savalak Remeir, Savalak Rabbanon. I did another one of those charts. Why not? I was in the mood. I already had the chart out, so I just used it for this. Rebbe takes the halacha of Remeir, the shchita sheina ruya shmo shchita, and he also takes the halacha of Rabbanon, that a pekua that is a full-term ben pekua doesn't need a shchita. The shchita sima mitarasai. The shchita of the mother is enough. So he makes a salad. He takes a little bit of here, a little bit of there. He holds like he takes one shita from here, one shita from here. I would think that since there's a ben paku in this case, he holds like chachamim. They can check the mother, and that's good enough for the baby. So even if the mother is treif, it should work for the baby. Kamash malon, no, it doesn't work when it's the mother's treif. Oh, and the continuing what we said before, the Rabbi Shimon doesn't make a blanket statement that if it's a shchita shein ruya, it's a shchita that you cannot eat the meat afterwards. He says it's not a shchita at all. Yet it has the ability that the animal is not tamei. Pshita, what's the chiddush? Tamar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav, Amri lo b'misnisatana, v'chiyamus min habehema, mixes behema mitama, mixes behema in mitama. There's some animals that are tamei when they die, some are not. Vezazu, treiva shchata. It's a treifa that you shechted. So you see over here that anytime you shecht a treifa, it takes away the nevela. So what's the chiddush? No, what happened was this treifa happens to be chulin, and you brought it into the Beis Hamikdash. This anya, let's say you shecht something that you know for a fact is a treifa, or you shechted it and you found out later that it's a treifa. And they happen to be in the Beis Hamikdash where you're not allowed to shecht chulin. Reb Shimon mater b'hana v'chacham ma'aser. He says like this: since it's a treifa, the shchita did zero. If it's zero, then it's as if you didn't shecht it in the Beis Hamikdash. What if you take an animal, you bring it into the Beis Hamikdash, and you shoot it in the head? Is the meat also b'hana? No, because you killed it. You didn't shecht it. So too, if this animal is a treifa and you shecht it, that's like killing it and not shechting it because there's nothing to do with it. The shchita is not going to work. It's a treifa. Shchita doesn't help it. So since the shchita doesn't help it, it's considered you killed it, and it's not asur. It's not asur b'hana. Since Reb Shimon says you're allowed to benefit from it, so if you're allowed to benefit from it, it's not considered a shchita at all. So if you killed it, so maybe if it's not a shchita at all, it doesn't have the power to remove tumah. Kamash malan, that nevertheless it removes the tumah. Omar le Rav Papa l'Abai b'sov Reb Shimon chulun ba'azor deraisi. So it's a question. This Isra Hana that we have when you shecht a regular animal, not a carbon, regular animal, you take an animal from your backyard, you shecht it in the Beis Hamikdash. You're not allowed to benefit from it. That Isra of benefiting, is it deraisa or derabana? Does Reb Shimon hold that it's deraisa? Amalayin, yes, he does. Vatnan, and I'll prove it to you. Reb Shimon oimer chulin shenishchutu ba'azar yisarfa beish. He says that if it was shechted in the azara when it wasn't a carbon, you should burn it. V'chein chaya shenishchutu ba'azara. So too, a wild animal that was shechted in the azara, you should burn it. What are you supposed to do with it? You're supposed to burn it. Now the question is, why do you burn it? What's the point? If you tell me the whole issur to shecht an animal in the Beis Hamikdash is deraisa and it's also bahana deraisa, yeah, it is the issur deraisa. I mean that the issur hana is deraisa. Hanu the gazrin chaya atu behema. So now you have one gzeira because the behema that you shecht in the Beis Hamikdash when you weren't supposed to is the deraisa. So I'm going to go from there one step and make that also to go to chaya. Eliyam's the rabbanon, but if the whole issur hana is only the rabbanon. So what's the point of why did the Rabbanan say that it's also bahana when you shecht an animal inside the Beis Hamikdash? Because maybe you're going to eat that animal, you're going to take a carbon and eat it outside the Beis Hamikdash. So he guf gzera, banana nikoim, gzera. So he says like this: a behema itself is one gzera. That you're not allowed to benefit from the behema's meat after you shecht it inside the Beis Hamikdash is not a deraisa, it's the rabbanon. So how is it possible? So that's gzera number one. Now why would a chaya be asur? Because of this. He's going gzera to gzera. The whole behema is one gzera. Then you take that gzera and go to a chaya. That's gzera number two. That's a gzera because of a gzera that we don't do. It makes no sense. Therefore it has to be that this behema is not the rabbanon. This behema is a deraisa. And then I go one gzera from this behema to the chaya. So it's one gzera. Says the Gemara story of Yoniva bechitane. He had these moths that were eating up his clothes. Does anybody remember what you do when you have moths in the clothes? Blood. They hate blood. Take a bird, take a chicken, and shecht it right by where these moths are, by the water, because the cotton is sitting there. Soaking in this water, pour the blood on the water, and they'll fly away. What's the problem, Rabbi Isai? You have to do kisi adam. When you shech the chicken, you have to do kisi adam. You're not allowed to deliberately put blood of a chicken in something. The moirach dama v'shavik lei. They'll smell the blood and they'll run away. So that's Gemara. How do they do it? If you shecht and you need the blood, you have to cover it because you don't shecht it, you cut it this way, you pull it simanim out. What he said is you should first make it a treifa, let's say break its wing or something, and then shecht it. He didn't say shecht it. What he meant to say is cut its simanim the wrong way. Do it in a way that's not a real shechita. So the man if he said to break its wing, why didn't he say just shecht it the wrong way? The reason is because there's no shechita for a bird. You don't have to shecht a bird, it's like a fish. So if you cut it the wrong way, it's still considered a shechita, midaraisa, so it wouldn't work and you have to do kisi adam. Here, Moshe Rabbeinu got a command from the Baruch Shalom to shecht one siman by a bird. So shechita is from the Torah. Certainly, if you cut the neck of the chicken the wrong way, it's not a shechita at all. I would say but if you first break its wing and then you shecht it normally, so okay, you can't eat it, it's a treva, but it's considered a shechita and you require kisi adam. Okay, we'll stop over here. Boisai, have a wonderful day, and we should see the building of the Beis Hamikdash b'mehera.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDY.com.